Hi guys, thanks for watching. This is going to be a postpartum update. I wasn't sure that I was going to make another one or one so soon because I just made one at 6 weeks, but there have been some changes and things that I forgot to update on when I made that video, so I'm just going to go ahead and talk about those things and the new things that are going on. So I forgot to mention that my lochia or postpartum bleeding, that stopped at around 4.5 weeks, and I have now, since then, actually right after I made that vlog, a couple days after I made the 6-week postpartum vlog, I started getting a little bit of bleeding again. I bled for about a day and a half, and then it stopped, and then a couple days later I had a little bit of blood, or bleeding. So I'm not really sure if that was a period or if that was just more lochia that was just kind of stored in there. So I was going to kind of wait and just see if I was going to get a regular period again this month, but I know that things don't really stabilize for quite some time after birth, usually, and especially if you're breastfeeding, things are definitely going to be way out of whack and your hormones are still just kind of fluctuating. So I just thought I'd mention that since I didn't in my previous video and there had been some changes. Along with that hormonal type of thing, I do want to make another breastfeeding video separately, but I think I'm going to make that for when I go back to work because I want to include some of the things in there as far as pumping and things like that. So, but I just wanted to mention, and I have briefly mentioned it in one of Amir's weekly updates, that I have nausea when I'm breastfeeding, and that kind of subsided at around 3 weeks. It was pretty strong then, but I have started getting that again just recently, like within the past week, so I'm not really sure why that kind of came back, and I'm not really exactly sure why I am having nausea. I'm assuming it's hormones, and I have looked that up, excuse me, and I know that's pretty common. And yes, I do Google things and I look things up, and I try not to be a hypochondriac, but I have to. I have the information at my fingertips, and while it might not be accurate, I have to analyze every little detail. I try not to, but it's really hard not to. So that's kind of been going on, and I know that that's fairly normal, but it is a little bit of a nuisance, but whatever. It's worth it, right? So another thing also with, I think it's hormonal, again, I don't know the exact real reason for these things, and I think even doctors sometimes don't even know, so they just kind of blame it on hormones, but I have been having less frequent urination, and I try to drink a lot of water because I know it's good for you, and B, it's really good for your breast milk supply to drink a lot of fluids, and I just don't urinate nearly as much as I did pre-pregnancy, and obviously not as much as I did during pregnancy, and I'm assuming that's normal. Of course, I had to post like a forum about it, asking about it there on a forum on Baby Center, asking other people in my birth club, and they said, just be thankful you're not going 6 times a day anymore. And yeah, I just like to really be conscious of any changes in my body. I just think it's important to pay attention to that, not get hung up or obsessed on it, and I'm not. I'm mentioning it because these are changes, so I figured it's an important thing to mention in these updates. And because I couldn't find any information about it, then maybe it'll help you to know that, yeah, there's other people that are going through that. So I drink a lot of water, and I'd say that I used to go at least like 4 times a day. Even that was during pre-pregnancy because I just drank a lot of water, but now it's like less than 3 times a day, usually 2 times a day. And I don't know, maybe that's normal for some people, but for me that was not, that's not normal, or it is my new normal, I guess, but it wasn't pre-pregnancy. So I just thought I would mention that. And another thing I want to talk about is my emotional state. Now, in the beginning, just the first day that I brought Amir home, in case you haven't seen any of my other videos, I did have some, I don't want to say, it's not postpartum depression because that wasn't long lasting, but I did kind of freak out. I had a couple of episodes that I just was crying and just worried about how I'm going to handle this and how I'm going to handle being immobile with a baby, trying to do things, whatever, all the things that you worry about when your first baby comes, I think, pretty typical. But then everything kind of normalized, and I've just been feeling wonderful on my maternity leave. However, now that things are nearing to time for me to go back to work, I'm going back to work on the 18th, so that's really soon. I have been having a lot of anxiety, a lot. Amir will be going to a daycare center, and I am just freaking out. It's not because I don't really want to go back to work. I do enjoy a lot of aspects of my work, and I really enjoy my coworkers, and I miss them. I miss seeing them on a daily basis. However, the thought of leaving my son with total strangers, and not only that, I mean, I don't think any harm will necessarily come to him, but the idea of me going to work and then coming home, sitting in traffic, and then getting home, and we have 3 hours together, and then it's time for us to go to bed or him to go to bed, and on top of that, trying to get things done around the house, trying to do homework. I will be a full-time student, and also a full-time employee, and also, of course, a full-time mom. And I am married. I do have a husband, but he works an obscene amount of hours, and that's kind of what we have to do. He has to do right now with our current situation. I won't go into that. It's too many details, too long to explain, whatever. It's probably boring for most people. But it's kind of what we've had to do. So I'm pretty much the full-time everything right now. So, or I will be when I go back to work. So I'm really, really concerned about that, how I'm going to be able to handle it. And our plans kind of changed. The plan was for me to go back to work because I have to return to my job, obviously, to keep my FMLA benefits. And I do like my job, so I was going to try to see if I could find a position within my company that was part-time, but I'm not sure that that's going to be able to happen. The other idea was for me to get another job, a part-time job, so that had more flexible hours, so I could be home with Amir more, and also so that I could do my school work, because it's not just going to classes, you have to do the schoolwork. And I'm sure if you've been in college and you are a mom, or you've been in college and you're working full-time, you completely understand. So I'm definitely really apprehensive, and I have not been sleeping well. I've been going to bed every night at like 3 or 4 o'clock, and my baby's already been asleep since 12 o'clock. So it's really not a good thing. I'm in kind of a bad pattern of sleep, but I just cannot shut my brain off. I'm thinking about the future too much. I'm thinking about his daycare and how we're going to make this work, and what could happen at daycare, and what could happen with us, and I'm just totally anxious. And I have issues with anxiety, but they kind of haven't been a big issue lately. In the last few years, haven't been a huge issue that's kind of caused a lot of drama in my life. But I feel like now things are kind of starting to really get me back on the track that I was previously, and I am definitely working on trying to focus on the present and not focus on, what the future holds, because I can't control that. But it's just become really hard, and just the reality of knowing that, I'm spending all day long with my baby and just having such a wonderful time getting to know him, and, just being with him. It just feels wonderful. And the thought of going back to work and having him with strangers and only spending a few hours a day with him on top of trying to do other things, it's just really, really hard for me to deal with. And I'm definitely trying to cope with that the best that I can. So I will definitely be chronicling my adventures with going back to work and daycare and all that stuff, because I think that there's a lot of women on here that are like full-time moms, working moms. There's all kinds of different people, but I feel like it's really great to have a community of people that can really kind of you can empathize with, that you really feel like they're in your situation, and just kind of ideas and tricks and tips and anything that I can share with anybody that might come across this. I really want to help in any way that I can. I'm not saying that I'm the best, or saying that I'm just have all the knowledge in the world, or my way's the right way. I don't know. I'm just kind of chronicling these kind of adventures. I don't experiences, I guess, in my life. I guess they could be adventures. And if for nobody else, if nobody watches it, then at least I have it for myself to look back on. But I really hope that, you know, I was helpful or informative to anybody, or that I will be. I'm definitely going to start doing some more reviews on the products that we have been using and things that really didn't work for us. I already do have one up, and you know, whatever comes along the way that I feel is relevant or I just want to talk about, even if it's not relevant, I guess. So I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this. Those are just the few things that I wanted to talk about postpartum. I have continued to lose some weight. I've lost 5 pounds more, so now I'm down about between 45 and 50 pounds from my pregnancy weight, which is so awesome, and I definitely will be trying to lose more weight, and I'll kind of talk about that process if I can get into some kind of habit or routine, but I can't make too many promises, especially with so much going on, or that will be going on in my life. I can't make promises about those types of things. So anyway, enough babbling. I just wanted to talk about those things that I have forgotten to mention and just kind of let it all out. So thank you again for watching. Have a great day.